Hello and welcome to another episode of Put Me in Coach on episode 121, Diamondbacks versus Rockies Game 2. Lineup of the day, Lars Nootbaar is on top of the first lineup, playing left field. Gabe Marino playing DH. Kento Marte playing second base. James McCain playing catcher, Tim Tawa at first base, Vargas playing shortstop. I think Perdomo got injured overall. I think that's what it is. And then Ryan Walshman playing center field. Tyler Locklear came in to hit later on in top of the ninth. Taylor Locklear came in and played first base. And then, fortunately enough, later on, for Tim Tawa to play first base, went out to play center field. And then Ryan Walshman playing center field went to left field instead. And then Jorge Barroza came in the bottom of the ninth to pitch run for somebody. I'm trying to think of who that was. It's tough here as well. I think there was a lot of people getting base hits here. Even more hits. The people did really good. Kenta Marte went 2 for 4. Nolan Arenado went 2 for 4. Tim Tawa went 2 for 4. Carroll went 1 for 4. And the rest pretty much went 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 and stuff. So, not really a whole lot base hits and stuff. So, you could say enough like 50-50 overall. But, this game was really weird overall and stuff because fortunately enough we lost. And to me enough it just looks so ridiculous in a way how we lost. So that is that. I'm going to go pitching wise overall and stuff. The starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks in this game is Mitch Bratt. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 4, walked once, and gave up 2 runs. So he was doing pretty good overall, giving that home run from the Rockies and stuff later on and stuff. So that's the most of the biggest deal. Sorry. Oh my goodness. I just woke up. It's like in the morning. And then so yeah, just he was doing pretty good till the only at the end and stuff. The Rockies starting pitcher is Tommy Saki Sugino, or I think that's how you say it. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, struck out 5, walked none, and he only gave up 2 runs. So it's a good matchup with Mitch Bratt, but I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing is about this pitcher every single time we're playing the Rockies and stuff. It feels like we've been struggling every single time. Like, we're not getting like some type of rhythm and stuff. Like, I think we keep losing games when this starting pitcher is pitching for the Rockies. And we ended up losing the game. Like, it's just so weird. And he's the one getting the win. And, like, to me, enough of just, like, this doesn't make no sense. This is one of the worst teams in baseball. And we can't even win a game when this pitcher is starting for the Rockies. And the crazy thing is enough of we had the lead over this guy. Like, big time. How enough of we lose the Rockies later on in the game? Like, it just doesn't make no sense. We had it, and there was a little struggle from the Diamondbacks, and we just lost. Really, really bad decisions here and there from Lovello, giving up of who's in the game and it's just like, to me, of enough of how do you let this slide, and how do we actually lose? A team is so bad, and we had a good advantage to win, and so we should absolutely win this game overall. But fortunately enough, Lavella is the type of person enough of it's slipped from his hands from other people, and to me, of enough of Sagano shouldn't get the win overall because we had the win over him and stuff, and it's just a bummer overall. Yeah. So it's just like every single time of this pitcher, it's been pitching for the Rockies against the Diamondbacks, keep going to win games. It's just so annoying and stuff. Like, I would definitely say this pitcher is good. I wouldn't say he's like the best or anything. He's not like the ace of the team for the Rockies or anything and stuff. Yeah, he has good stuff, but it's just like I have a feeling enough of like the Diamondbacks offense is so much better than this. How are we losing? How are we losing? And we can't even have a comeback. And that's where it's just pathetic. Like, we should be a lot better. You know, the bullpen for the Diamondbacks, Kevin Geagle, that's where enough of it went downhill to that point by 1 run, because that's the run we gave up pretty easily and stuff, and that's how we lost the game. So from Kevin Geagle's mistake and Lavella's mistake as well, and I would absolutely talk about it. And then Taylor Clark, Juan Morello, and that's pretty much of that. We're gonna go scoring and stuff. So I take out the boring stuff, but fortunately these are the ones we're going to talk about. Sorry. Or did I took out the boring stuff? I don't know. But these are the ones I'm gonna talk about. Corbin Carroll with a solo home run to make it 1-0 bottom of the first. Kendrick Marte with a solo home run to make it 2-0 bottom of the first. And then Kyle Garros, Carros, I think you how you say his last name. He hit a 2-home run to tie the game up 2-2 in the top of the sixth. That's where Mitch Bratt kind of went downhill at the very end and stuff. Because that's like the only runs he only gave up and stuff. And then later on, enough of Mickey Moniak hit a RBI sac fly in the top of the seventh to make it as 2-3. 3-2, I meant to say, and stuff. And that is the final score. Diamonds cannot have a comeback at the very end of the 8th and the 9th and stuff. They had a chance in the 9th. Fortunately enough, it went downhill. Fortunately enough, we lost this game 2-3. Their final score is now 64-57. We're still within it with the Phillies, but it's just like now we're like one down from the Padres right now. So to be of enough, in my opinion, I just feeling like we should absolutely win this game overall and stuff. Like, we had it. We had 2-0. And stuff. I'm totally fine with the tide, but like, come on, and stuff. There was somebody else. I think in Hunter, Goodwin, their catcher. He got a triple on Kevin Geagle, and then stuff. And that's where Moniak RBI sac fly, and that's the run he pretty much gave up to pretty much let the Rockies win the game. And it's crazy enough of just like we can't even have a comeback, and this is the final score at the end and stuff. It's just like, this is so annoying. Like, we gave up this win for the Diamondbacks to lose and the Rockies to win. Like, the Diamondbacks gave it up for what cost? just to lose. That's just what happens. Progress, it's just like, to me, enough right now for like offense and stuff. Win games when we have the matter of the moment when we're actually losing by 1 point. The pitching are absolutely doing the best they can, and after enough to not giving up only one lead away and stuff, and we can't even have a comeback. You gotta understand enough of, we just won a game 9-0. 9-0 from the last game we played against the Rockies in game 1, and we lost 3-2 yesterday game. Like, what? How is that possible? How is that possible? These are the one of the worst teams in MLB, and we can't even get another run later on. This is probably the pathetic way to lose a game, because it is, because we lost from a sac fly in a way. You know, we have two of our best players hit solo home runs, and that's it. And literally having somebody getting injured in the middle of the game, literally hit a 2 home run later on of that, and then getting injured out of the game and stuff. And then fortunately enough for Ginkle to let it live of a triple, and then the Rockies just win it as when they with the sac fly and stuff. Like, it is a way of enough. It's a pathetic way to literally win a game and stuff. And we shouldn't win this. We shouldn't lose this game. We pretty much give the Rockies a win, a easy win, and stuff. And I just thinking, in progress enough of with pitching wise and stuff. Like, I just thinking, to me of enough. This is another thing where enough of, I just don't think this is a good idea to enough to having the idea of having different type of pitchers coming in to close the game and so, because again, I don't thinking you're just gonna have a better rhythm, because you gotta understand enough. Like, I get it about, you know game 1 enough of, we only had 2 pitchers in the game and stuff, and Lilo was making his debut, and Ferdinand Lavello let him play pretty much rest of the game later on and stuff, and good for him and stuff. And we were winning 9-0, and we really gave up only, no runs overall, because we only had 2 pitchers and stuff. But do you understand enough of who actually closed the game against game 3 against the Dodgers? Yeah, it was Kevin Ginkel, the same person who only gave up the only run to literally lose this game, and literally came into the 7th inning or the 6th inning. To me, of enough of just like, what is this? And this is where enough of, I don't like this idea from Lavello, because it doesn't give the right rhythm for the pitchers in the bullpen to have this right innings and situations and stuff. I hate it so much. This is what happened from last year, and it went downhill for the Diamondbacks and stuff. This is the typical reason enough of, like, I get it enough of, like, Mitch Bratt gave up a 2 home run from Carreros and stuff, because Carreros is a very interesting player, and he can actually hit ball and stuff. He made a mistake. It's crazy enough of, it was, tied the game up. I thought we were going to go extra inning overall enough if we cannot score and stuff. But fortunately enough, Kevin Giegel is the one to actually give up the run, and we can't even have a comeback. Rockies can't even have another run later on and stuff because they suck and stuff because the only way enough of they can actually win a game is do a sack fly and stuff. And that's how they won the game. It's kind of a pathetic way to win a game. Good for the Rockies to win the game and stuff, but it's just like it's a terrible way to win the game, and it just feels like we just gave up the game. That's just how it feels like, and stuff. And it's just so enough of a pathetic enough of let's stop losing these games on purpose. Enough of other teams can absolutely beat this team. Are we trying to get to the playoffs? We're in the spot of in the wild card. We want to win the most games we can and stuff. And how enough of we lose a game 3-2 against the Rockies when it matters and stuff. These are the type of mindsets we need to do. And I feeling like enough of Lavello just like, oh yeah, it sucks enough of we lost 3-2 against a freaking horrible team in MLB this year and stuff. And because, bro, because you put a closer, it's not even a closer later on, and then put him in a different inning, and he is the typical one is to give up the runs. This is the type of decision you had to make, and you don't blame it on yourself because this is the typical person and enough did. Like, I totally understand enough of we gave up our closer away because fortunately enough for Paul Sewald, he got DFA because he sucked at the time. But you gotta understand enough if he had over 20 saves, so he pretty much, had a good first season, for us in a way. Just went downhill at the end. Can't even do his job and stuff. So, some ways enough, you gotta give some Paul Sewald some credit in a way because he did good. He really did good, and he was our closer and stuff. Hearing enough of Justin Martinez is not, absolutely coming back. I'm seeing him in the dugout. And so, what is going on? I want to see this guy pitching for this team and stuff. It feels like we're not even using him. What is going on? I understand enough of AJ Puck is out for the whole season. It sucks for that and stuff. I wish he had a comeback in a way and stuff. And it's just like okay, like I get about injuries and stuff. I'll let it slide, but just like, man, it's just like, what is the Diamondbacks doing at this time with the bullpen and stuff? Hearing about Zach Gallen, Corbin Burns, whatever and stuff. Those are our starting pitchers. Michael Sorka came back and stuff. That was a good sign and stuff. We need Corbin Burns and stuff. We'll get him in September and stuff. And then Gallen later on, blah, 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 here and there and stuff. I'm not so worried about, Gallen so much and stuff. Hopefully he has a bounce back, trying to help us to win and probably get us to the playoff spot later on in this month and in September and stuff in a good way, hopefully and stuff. But fortunately enough, it's just like these are the typical things. Like, why am I seeing our typical closer sitting in the dugout where enough of we're not using him and stuff? And the crazy thing is like, okay, do not put Kevin Ginkel later on against the Dodgers and actually having enough for Garcia, because I thought Garcia is going to be our new closer, and that's not what happened, because he's going to do this weird closer type of situation. And I'm just telling you enough of, like, in my opinion, it won't work because you're not going to have the same typical rhythm with these pitchers. And you're going to throw them a little off from, like, oh, the next game, he's going to pitch in this inning. The next game he's gonna pitch in the bullpen. He's gonna play at closing and stuff. Later on, he's gonna come in this inning, and then later on in another game, he's gonna close. So like it's just like this back and forth in this situation and stuff. It's not a good idea. And he is going back to what he made a mistake from last year, and this is where enough of we made a mistake in this game, and it cost us a loss where enough of it didn't deserve to have a lose on Kevin Ginkel's name and stuff. And just enough of what again the same picture of enough to starting for the Rockies every single time we lose a game over of a pitcher is giving up of 2 home runs against our superstars overall, and some from Marte and Carroll with solo home runs and stuff. We had the lead 2-0. Mitch Brad gave up 2 runs. I understand that, and then later on, enough of the person closed the game in the 9th inning against the Dodgers in Game 3. Came into the 7th later on and stuff to give up the lead and got the loss. This is on Lavello. If you want to be the freaking manager for this team, do it right, please. Like, I just don't understand so much of enough of how this is going to work. I wish it worked for him. I really do. But these are the typical situations enough of it's just never going to work in this way if you think about it. Because we had the game. We had the game. We really did. And you put Kevin Ginkel in the 7th, and he gave up the lead. And the Diamondbacks can't even have a comeback. Where enough of we won the 9-0 the later game before of that. Like, you could say enough of, like, oh, that's baseball, whatever, blah, 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 here and there. The Diamondbacks are literally tied with the Cubs, having the most comeback in Major League Baseball this season, and we can't even win a game over the Rockies by losing 2-3 by 1 run. It is so annoying. How we won Game 1 against the Dodgers? Oh yeah, Brent Wolfsmith hit a walk-off home run. How we cannot do exactly the same thing? What is going on? Like, it just... I wish we can win the game today so we can win the series and stuff, but like, come on. These are the situations enough of it, and if we do win today over the Rockies in Game 3 and stuff, we should absolutely sweep the Rockies and we shouldn't lose. Stop giving up runs so easy so we can lose the game. Stop. It's annoying. I thought enough of, like, oh yeah, you thought enough of the Diamondbacks could absolutely get a win, having a comeback. You thought wrong. You thought wrong, Lavello. You thought of it. I thought it too, and it just didn't happen. And those are the situation enough of you cannot think about that and stuff. And if we were gonna have a comeback, and why did we not do that? We had a chance. We did have a runner on second. We could absolutely that scored, but we lost. And we had a chance in the 8th. I understand about the 9th because the closer was a closer. Gotta understand from that too. Oh my god. It just went downhill at that time. And this is pathetic, and to me of enough of is Lavello is the right person to manage for this team. And this is why enough of, like, I feel like I'm, I want to be better over him, and stuff, and I wouldn't choose this way enough of if I can hear enough of Justin Martinez is ready to go out there, I'm put him in because he's ready. If he's ready, I'm put him in. If I don't understand. If he's not ready, I understand enough of he got to keep practicing, and he's not ready and stuff. But if he is, I'm put him in because he is our closer. It's just like if that and if that's not the case, enough of it. And why did you not put Garcia at the end? Why you put Kevin Ginkel at this time? You shouldn't put Kevin Ginkel at closing for the Dodgers in Game 3. You should put Garcia in. But you didn't. You put him later on and stuff. Or you had him pitch him again. It's just like pathetic in a way and stuff. This is how we lose games. This is how we lose games. You gave it up and away. Good job. And for Kevin Ginkel, he needs to do better. Because I think Ryan Thompson went downhill and stuff. And I think Ginkel needs to do the same thing. So, that is that. You know. That's pretty much of that. The game is about to start a couple minutes. So I'm going to be more excited to see that and stuff. Hopefully the Diamondbacks do win and actually win the series. Hopefully, you know, or should be better, but yeah. Disappointed loss for yesterday game and stuff. So I apologize if there's no lot of negatives because again, it's just. I mean, not a whole lot positive I meant to say and stuff. It's just like this is just a worse way to lose a game and stuff. And I feel like the plays of what Lavello is doing against his team. It's just like he thought enough it's gonna work and it really didn't, and he just doesn't even blame himself. You know, and he thinks enough of like, oh, we're gonna do a lot better next game, and it would be better and stuff. Like, no, dude. The worst part is you, bro. The worst is you. You're part of this team, and you don't blame yourself, and that's where it struggles. Where enough of like, I don't even blame on Mitch Bratt of that 2-home run and stuff, and I don't even blame on Kevin Ginkel. Like maybe a little bit and stuff because he's the one who got the loss overall and stuff, and he pretty much is the one, lost the game for the Diamondbacks, but that was also on Lavello's, decision. So it's honestly enough is also on him too. And to me of enough, in my opinion, if I wouldn't be the coach in this spot, I would not put, I wouldn't put Kevin Ginkel, or I probably would, but it just did give him a different rhythm enough to be in a closer later on in a different game, and then having him coming in this game in a different inning and stuff doesn't make no sense, and it didn't even give him a better rhythm, and that's probably where it went downhill, and he struggled. And he is still struggling. And that's the weirdest thing enough of how did you close out against the Dodgers where enough of you give up a run against the Rockies? Like, dude, no. That still doesn't make no sense. How does that happen? And it happened. Like, I get it, but like, come on, dude. Come on. Man. I just like, to me, it's just like, don't understand this team and Lavello, whatever, dude, whatever. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.